Hi everybody, I thought I can shoot a quick reaction video before I head off. Hi everybody, good evening to all the people of the world. Well, this is another reaction video that I wish to shoot on the content produced by Mr. Madan Gowri that talks about 10 signs by which you can identify someone who is cheating on you. Well, he starts off the video by saying that there are two different types of creatures. One is monogamous and the other is non-monogamous. For clarification and for educational purposes, I wish to state here, it is not non-monogamous, it is polygamous. So there are, if you want to accept that there are two types, just for argument's sake, when I say accept, it is up to you. So just for the sake of clarification, the word is not non-monogamous, the word is polygamous. So there are two types of creations, maybe you can take it. One can be called as monogamous, that is, people or creatures that are mating with a single mate, and the other is polygamous. Polygamous creatures which have multiple partners. Now, is polygamous bad? Is monogamous good? Well, there are many cultures and many religions that permit polygamy. Polygamy is practiced all over the world in one form or the other. And polygamy is deeply covered or enshrined in certain religions and cultures. So, as the saying goes, the proverbial states that a man would commit even the most heinous crime in the name of religion, which he otherwise wouldn't dare to. So, since polygamy is part of certain religion or certain culture groups, it is considered to be the central part or central core of their walks or their ways of life, and that is one of the reasons that it cannot be removed or it cannot be totally annihilated. It's not possible, as I just mentioned to you. Now, when did monogamy start? It started sometime during the Middle Ages. Those times, the kings who ruled, they were taking multiple women, the most beautiful women, the best of the best, and they wanted their subjects not to have multiple women, because when their subjects tend to have multiple women, they more so often they go into a state of competition, even with the royal family, even with the kings. So they don't want that to happen. So that is one of the reasons that the kings during the Middle Ages, they passed a law saying that polygamy is prohibited, and every man of the family is entitled to just have one woman as their partner. So, having said that, moving on, Mr. Madan Gowri gave 10 points to have as indicators, so that you will be able to spot if someone is cheating on you. In all honesty, if you were to look for those indicators, for sure you will find them. The reason being, as the saying goes, if you go out in search of trouble, you will find trouble. So, deep within, if you are going to have this so-called, Mr. Madan Gowri mentions the so-called gut feeling. He talks about gut feeling. If your gut says that this person is cheating on you, then for sure the chances are there. Well, it's again chances, right? There's no surety that the person is cheating on you. It is imperative for you to understand that most of the time you cannot be walking, or you cannot be deciding on your gut feeling. Say, for example, it appeals to you that this person is cheating on you, and you make some sporadic decisions, then you will be the person who will be suffering. It's like walking into a race course and then betting on a horse based on your guts, okay, based on your gut feeling. Or on the contrary, or on the other side, walking into a casino and betting on this card that you think will be the winner. So you cannot make decisions on your gut, or on your what do you call as the big blink feeling. You cannot make decisions on your blinks. So having said that, why do I say that? Because imagine that you got a feeling in your gut that this person is cheating, your man is cheating on you. You will consistently throw that same vibe on him, right? You will consistently throw that same vibe. And most of the time, the vibration that you throw will be the one that will produce the results. In other words, say for example, constantly you are insinuating that this guy is cheating on you. So you will act in that manner, you will behave in that manner, either to your boyfriend or to your husband. So a man who is not really cheating on you, just because you think he's wearing good clothes, or he's wearing a good perfume, or he's wearing good shoes, you are insinuating it. So as it goes in the book, Men are from Mars and Women are from Venus. This is what is called as insinuated thoughts, and projecting the thoughts on this on your boyfriend. And whatever he might really be a very good person. He might not really do those things out of what should I say? He might just do those things because he wants to better himself. There's nothing wrong in going to the gym. There's nothing wrong in taking care of himself, right? What is wrong? It is imperative to understand that there are two different types of men who are beta males, and men who are alpha males. Okay, now why do I say that? The difference between two types of males, why do I say that? I will get back to you within a minute. Now, I had the opportunity of speaking to some parents of boys, and they asked them, did your son get married? The father, most of the fathers, they start to spell out their anguish. They say that the women now want only guys who are earning at least 1 lakh a month, Indian money, or something more than that. This is the way they want. They don't want anyone who's earning little bit less than 1 lakh. So I was just inquisitive. I was just wondering. Well, so most of these women who are willing to get married, they want a guy who is well established, who is well settled, and who is successful in the world, right? So there is just one problem with that. What is the problem? Look, whenever a man is very successful, he has got greater influence in life. It's like a guy who has got everything at his disposal. So when that happens, naturally his choices would also be plenty in number. So he's not going to be sitting waiting for you uh, to call the shots. So having said that, on the contrary, if you were to choose a guy who is to your standard, say for example, he might be a very good guy, a very normal person, a very homely fellow, but not earning great money, not having a great physique, but he is good natured, he is humble. So those type of people, those type of men are usually they stick to monogamy relationships. This is what I have found. But apparently the girls, they wouldn't choose boys like that. And so what happens is that we are now in a society where girls want highly successful men and still expect them to stay in a monogamous relationship. Now, it is imperative to understand, on the contrary, a successful man has got many admirers. You should understand that. There's a lot of difference between a guy who's 300 pounds and has got a mediocre salary, and a guy who has got who's earning 300,000 US dollar a year and who's got good muscles, who's got a six pack. So the competition is totally different for both these guys. So if you are choosing the men who I've just mentioned, the boys who are not really on the higher end, who are normal, who earn a living, a good living, acceptable living, who are simple in nature and humble and polite, like the parent that I've just mentioned. His son is a very good guy. His son is a very humble natured person, and apparently the girls are not willing to take him on. On the contrary, I'm just talking. So when it comes to the alpha males, these are highly successful people. The alpha males are highly successful people. They have many options, and the money is not an issue to them. Their physique is well built. They work on their physique night and day, and they are on the top. You take, for example, Mr. Salman Khan. Why is Mr. Salman Khan not married yet? Did you wonder anytime? Why is Mr. Salman Khan not yet married? Yeah, he says marriage is expensive. Would you believe that? He's making good money. He's a star of Bollywood. Mr. Salman Khan is saying marriage is expensive. Well, he has got a point there too. Now, based on the traits, or based on the tricks that Mr. Madan Gowri is saying, if a man is satisfying 50% or he doesn't mention man, but of course it's accepted. He's online because given the status quo, men are now at a disadvantageous point, because if a girl finds out that a boyfriend is not really cheating, but if she thinks that this guy is cheating based on the traits, because Mr. Madan saying 50% chances are there if five tips are satisfied, and 70% chances are there if 7 of these criterion are satisfied. Would you believe that? So imagine a girl listens and sees this video and assumes, wow, so this guy is cheating on me. So because he has satisfied all the 8 categories or 8 tips or 8 criteria, so 80% chance likelihood is there that this person is cheating on me. So if that be the case, what would happen to her future? Of course, if she is married, then she can always file for divorce. right? Or divorce, whatever, however way you call it. And she will get child support, and she will get 50 percentage of this guy's hard-earned money, and his life is finished. His life is done. So that's the situation, right? But on the contrary, if she is having a relationship with this guy, they are not married, then the situation is that she would be losing this guy, right? So this man is not going to take her on, because she will be putting the same vibe at him, and he will be totally pissed off. And one particular point of time, he would say, wow, I got enough of you and I'm done. So that is going to be the issue. That is going to be the eventuality. So what I am trying to say to girls, long time ago there was this concept of arranged marriages. I'm not sure if arranged marriages are still existing. So what would happen? The boy would be viewed by the girl's parents, and they would judge if the boy is good. Of course, they are experienced people. They know all the parameters. They know all the criterias, and so there was an element of safetyness. There was this safety net for girls, because whenever the girl's parents, they are into it, and the boy's parents are also collaborating, marriages usually turn out to be successful. Of course, there are some incidences where. So the point what I'm trying to say is, if parents are involved in arranging the alliances, there is always a 90% possibility, 90% outcome of the marriage being a success. So parents have to get involved. But apparently what girls are now doing is that they are being put in school. So instead of going to school, on the driveway or on the walkway, they find this guy whom they think is the best guy in the whole world, and apparently he's just a mechanic, and then they get hooked up. So she loses her studies and they elope. I hope you know that popular movie, Kadal. What happens in the movie? The girl is put in a school. The parents are thinking that the girl is studying, but apparently she is performing something which is not really accepted or acceptable, which is not really required. She is supposed to be in the school and doing a math homework or a science homework, but apparently she doesn't do that. So what am I trying to tell you here is, relationships are highly complex these days. Marriages are highly complex these days. So if you believe your parents, of course you need to believe them, they have brought you into this world, and put the responsibility of finding a mate for you, then it would be really a happy ending. But on the contrary, when you choose, most likely, if you are a girl, I'm talking from a man's perspective, if you are a girl, the possibility of you choosing a good boy or a good man, it's highly remote, because these days they may say a lot of things. We have technology and it's easy to catch a person cheating. Well, what are you going to do after you have caught, you have encountered, you have launched a frontal attack on your man or on your boyfriend, that he is cheating? Ultimately, what's the output? He is going to, if he is really cheating, he is either going to accept. If he accepts, your relationship is in a soup. If he doesn't accept, confrontation will proceed. So there's a lot of unwanted repercussions that you will have to face, right? On the contrary, if as I told you, as I've already mentioned to you, we have got most of the times, if you are choosing alpha males, the likelihood, alpha males in the sense I'm talking about guys, men who are highly successful, who have got a great physique, who are earning big money, and who are on the top of their brackets, right? They are very powerful, they are very volatile, and the likelihood of them being in a monogamous relationship is highly remote. So they will never be in a monogamous relationship. But the guys, the the boys who are willing to be in a monogamous relationships are always meek and humble, and they are not earning that much money, but they can they are always good to run the family. But apparently girls don't want them. That's the main problem. Girls always want guys who are flying in the skies, who have who are highly what should I say, who got a six pack, and who are very tall, who are fit, and who are very highly successful in life. The girls are really attracted to them. I wouldn't blame them. The reason is that girls are attracted towards abundance. That's the mindset. So to say that you need to apply these 10 tips to find out, because I can give you 40 to 50 tips by which you can find out a person is cheating or not, but that is not going to do any good to you. At the end of the day, you're going to walk with a broken heart, which is not really good. So you can avoid all these things. How can you avoid all these things? If you choose the boy properly, if you choose the man properly, if you choose high flyers, and you are mediocre, then the likelihood of the relationship prolonging is highly remote. It's not going to happen, because someone who I've just mentioned, who are alpha males, they are not used to sticking into a relationship firmly. So there's no point in walking the walk with them, because that's the way they are, and biology has so designed them. Having said that, there's no point in having these indicators or tips. That's what they say. If you put the first button in your shirt right, then your life will be fine. In other words, you don't need to worry about the rest of the buttons. The rest of the buttons, they will fall in place. All you need to do is to put the first button in your shirt properly. Right? So put the first button in your shirt properly. Everything will fall in place. So that's very critical. That's very important. So that's what they say in the Tamil language. When you're plowing, there are two wedges which run the plow. If you place the first wedge properly, the second wedge, which is following the first wedge, will always be right. My advice to women is that you have to be careful when you're making the choice. So that's why the probable statement says you are a product of your choices. Okay? So thank you, and enjoy your evening until we see again.